Will Australia fall into a recession in 2025? There's lots of talk about a potential recession in the media, and there are arguments for and against. We've produced 2 videos covering both sides of that debate. This is a video looking at 7 reasons why Australia will absolutely not fall into recession next year. Reason number 1 is Australia is experiencing strong net migration. The number of people coming to Australian shores from overseas is actually sitting at nearly double what it was before COVID-19. While this has contributed to some of the issues Australia is facing in terms of a housing crisis and cost of living pressure, it does contribute extra people into the economy and lead to economic growth. So it is a sign that Australia's economy is unlikely to face recession next year. In the last video, we talked about Australia being in the middle of a per capita recession. In this video, I'm going to call out bull on the claim from the last video. A per capita recession is often cited by opposition, governments and media as a negative sign for an economy. However, a per capita recession does not necessarily mean Australia is going to face an actual real recession. As mentioned in the previous post, Australian migration is very high. Migration to Australia is much higher than it has been for other countries, and that's what's driving the GDP per capita down and leading to a per capita recession. It doesn't mean the overall GDP is going to drop in the long term. Reason number 3 is the strong export sector. Would you believe that Australia produces more than 50% of all the iron ore sold in the world, as well as multiple other minerals? While these obviously contribute to global warming, it does mean that these being sold internationally contribute to money flowing into Australia and adding to our GDP. Numbers 4 and 5 are that inflation is easing in Australia. We did see a slight uptick in the last numbers from 3.6 to 3.8% in terms of inflation in Australia, but it's still down dramatically from 7.8% towards the end of 2022. So the overall trend is down and expected to continue going that way, which leads to reason 5. If inflation continues in this way, it will eventually hit the target the RBA is looking for to apply cash rate cuts, which means the cost of mortgages and borrowing is going to get cheaper across Australia next year, which will in turn boost the economy. Reason number 6 is that wage growth is trending upwards in Australia, even though it hasn't kept pace with the growth of prices. So overall, people are still being paid less. Comparatively, it has continued to increase from about 1.5% before the cash rate cuts started to be applied to over 4% now. And if this continues, it means more money in the pockets of Australians and more money going into the economy. The final reason here is connected to the US yield curve disinversion. If you want an explainer as to what that means, please check out our previous video. Basically, the argument there was every recession in the US has been preceded by a yield curve disinversion, which we have seen happen now, and that's therefore an indicator that recession is potentially around the corner. The counter argument to that, coming from Nicholas Gruen of Lateral Economics as part of Finder's OEA cash rate survey, is what we really need to ask is, has every yield curve disinversion been followed by recession? And it actually hasn't. So this really isn't an indicator of anything. Finally, thank you for getting to the end of this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe. It will show us that we need to produce more of this type of content and help promote us within the YouTube architecture. I am Graham Cooke from Finder. If you want to follow this Schrodinger recession as it unfolds, you can check out the continuously updated insights column on finder.com.au.